So decanting a bottle of wine, Malmaison core brand standard, made simple. So there's a couple of things to think about when we're decanting. Firstly is the why. Why are we going to decant a bottle of wine at tableside? And that has two main reasons, but there's a third kind of additional benefit to it as well. The first reason is that by decanting the wine into the decanter causes a process called mass oxidation or rapid oxidation, which exposes the wine to a large amount of oxygen, which improves and softens the tannins of the wine and makes the wine a little bit more palatable to drink. Secondly is to remove the wine from the bottle, leaving the sediment in the bottle. So we're left with the wine in the decanter to then pour and drink, and we keep the sediment to one side. And our third reason is that there's a degree of romance, there's a degree of theatre around decanting a bottle of wine at tableside. It's that experience that all the other guests are looking around going, oh, I want one of them. So they're the three reasons we decant wine. The process for decanting wine is fairly straightforward. Firstly, we go through the process of opening the wine, presenting the wine, and getting the guests to approve the wine just as we do normally. Then we always give the guest the option whether they want their wine decanted or not. Even if it's a wine that we absolutely know professionally is going to really benefit from decanting, such as a Barolo, we still leave it to the guest to make that decision. We can recommend whether a guest has their wine decanted, but ultimately it's their choice. So let's assume that the guest has chosen this wine to be decanted. We've opened it, it's been approved, we then come over with our decanter. Decanter can then be simply held in our one hand and the bottle that the guest has chosen in the other hand. Get it comfortable because you're going to be holding the wine for some time. The decanter is placed at a slight angle and we want to stay close to the table, so not too far away. And then literally, very carefully, start to pour the wine down the edge of the decanter. You can start really, really close, and as you feel more confident, if you want to, you can just allow the gap between the bottle of wine and the decanter to grow slightly. It just adds a little bit more theatre. Just notice that we are pouring this wine nice and slowly, and we are, where possible, trying to allow the wine to run down the side of the decanter. That's important to keep the process of oxidation. Remember, the more surface area to the wine, through the running of the wine down the glass, the improved oxidation and therefore the softening of the wine, so that makes the wine more palatable. Now we continue to pour the wine nice and slowly, and then as we start to get to like the last third of the bottle, we slow down a little, because now we really want to pay attention to the wine that is coming out of the bottle and ensure that any sediment is left in the bottle. So we go nice and slow, and if we get any doubt that sediment is starting to reach the top of the bottle, we simply turn and stop. Try and avoid any dripping, and then place the decanter down the table, and you'll notice we have a small amount of wine left in that bottle. Now that's trapping and holding the sediment. We've placed the bottle down on the table, and through the course of the guest meal, that sediment will continue to settle. So when we get closer towards the end of the meal, we can just decant that last little bit of wine, leaving the sediment in the bottle. Once the guest is ready, and once the wine is opened, we then pour the wine from the decanter, typically placing your thumb in the middle of the decanter and wrapping your fingers around to stabilise the decanter. Just for a little show, once we're ready, just nice and carefully pour the wine from the decanter, and just like you would a bottle, a little twist and a stop to stop the decanter dripping.